refer to myself as a leadership geek. I love everything about leadership, and I believe that leadership is the difference maker. So when you're in an organisation, I think it'll be leadership that makes the difference. And leadership is about people, it's about visions, and it's about where you're going to take an organisation.
I can't talk about great organisations without talking about Harrop Fold School. Now this school is an incredible school, and anybody that's been, I would invite anybody to come up and have a look at it. It's a really, really interesting place. 12 years ago, we were deemed the worst school in the country. Now there's a label you don't want.
And then we were hit with another crisis where we were, deemed as the school with the biggest deficit of any school in the country, even though we didn't spend that money.
So what happened there? Well, money was spent by people who were in special measures, and that came back and it landed at the school, and we've been wrestling with that debt ever since. We're a good school, we're going in the right direction, but I'd say not just a good school, we're a great school because amazing people have done absolutely amazing things.
We know that you can't become remarkable by following someone else's remarkable. So we've got to do things differently, and we can't for any longer put up with the status quo. We don't want to have that status quo bias that people talk about, and I don't mean the 80s rock band. I actually mean, people are wanting to stick with the familiar. Well, comfort zones are just very pink fluffy places where nothing grows, and we need to move out of those comfort zones.
I was doing a talk with Matthew Syed. Are people familiar with Matthew Syed? He wrote Bounce, which is about the 10,000 hour rule, deliberate practice. He wrote Black Box Thinking, which is about learning from failure. And I told this story and he went, whoa, that is a great story, Drew. I said, thank you, Matthew. He said, how the hell did you do that? That must be the most incredible school improvement story I've ever heard. And I went, it really is. The DFE even say it, even though they shy away from the fact that there's so much money that they spent that we're picking up the tab for. But they did say to us, what an amazing story, how did you do it? And this was the answer I gave him. You see, we live in a world that's obsessed with performance. Everybody here lives in a world where they have to get certain performance indicators. So what does that mean? Well, we've got to look at our processes. And I think what we do is we look for the X factor. We look for the silver bullet. We look for the quick fix. We have that microwave mentality, which says we want something today, not tomorrow. TNT, today, not tomorrow. We want that thing today. So we don't look at the whole of the process. What do? We look at the edge of process. So when I walk into organisations, I'm one of these people. I'm genuinely like this all day, by the way, so let that sink in. The kids were delighted when they heard I was coming here because I've had to travel from Salford and I left midday. He's not going to be in for a day. But when you go into any organisation, you ask an exec lead, you ask the chief constable, you ask the CEO of a business, you ask an elite sports coach, you say, what's your greatest asset? And I'm not giving any more after 8 minutes on this one. Because what's the answer? Your people. You see, people are brilliant. We should bring people in and let them look at our processes. Let them look with that curious mind at the way we do things. And then if we get the right people in and they start looking at the processes, what's going to happen to the performance? Well, the performance is going to take care of itself.
Some pretty challenging times that we're going to be going through over the next few years, and I can't see that slowing down or changing. I think, change is our new constant, and it's about understanding how we can navigate through those murky waters.
So in conclusion, in finishing, what really makes the difference? Well, people really make the difference. They always have, they do now, and they always will into the future. Let's obsess on human capital. Thanks for listening. You've been a great class.